If I would have wanted you to care, but can't you see that I have been busy trying to pretend that I don't care?
Look, I do care, but I don't care. My phone is always on me, but I'm not there. Notified, but it always coincides with something that overrides. On the grind over time, nobody gets no reply. That's bona fide, no disrespect. Screen's always lighting up like a cigarette. I save my writing for the symphonette. Here's the thing.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, boy.
You're not my problem.
Look,
But you got issues.
hey.
Don't call me.
You said I should have texted you more often. If I would have wanted you to care, but can't you see that I have been busy trying to pretend that I don't care?
Why do you think this is? What you say doesn't match up with how you're leaving me on red and how you never pick up the number to tell the girls on your phone. So you got a pretty high Candy Crush score. Boy, you're wasting your time. But let me tell you that it wasn't my fault. You're not my problem. Boy, you got issues. Don't call me.
You said I should have texted you more often. If I would have wanted you to care, but can't you see that I have been busy trying to pretend that I don't care? And you say I should have texted.
Don't hold out for a text that you'll never get. Are you bitter yet, or is it jealousy? Fundamentally, there's nothing you could thread to top my lethargy. A message in a bottle, in that bottle, in an ocean. And that ocean is no metaphor for my devotion, but I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy.
And you say I should have texted you more often. If I would have wanted you to care, but can't you see that I have been busy trying to pretend that I don't care?
Phone is always on me.
What's up, people? I gotta check my audio connection. All right, the right microphone. How is it going? Hey, Bally, what's up? Hey, Be Free Fish, what's going on? I haven't been doing a DLS stream in I think 2 to 3 weeks, so we're just gonna do one now, ads and all, and we're gonna catch up. So shout outs to you for being here. It was very impromptu, but I didn't make it to the gym in a couple of days, so I had to get that done in the morning. So I was there for an extended period of time, usually double the time that I'm usually there, because typically at the gym I'm very good with circulating through the machines, or it's not circulating, improper verbiage, cycling through the machines is what I do. So today was arm day. So my triceps, my biceps, I'll also do my pectorals as part of arm day, because it's not really part of your arms, but you get it, plus my upper back muscles. I also will do abdominal day, so I'll do my pectorals, my abdominals. Shit, I might even do my glutes. Love handles area, I'll do that, but maybe in about 2 days or so. So I just had to catch up from morning time until now. went to the mall. After the mall, I came here. Got here like a minute early, but I had to let my little doggy out because, of course, I got to be a very attentive pet owner. And I did that, came upstairs, had to go through all these like DLF stuff, see what he's been up to, and get it done. So I'm here. All right, so let's get started. He has his CPAP. I think it's CPAP. Looks like it. Because there's different ones, right? There's like CPAP. There's like BiPAP, right? And there's like APAP. There's lots of PAPs. Let's just put it that way. So I think this is a CPAP. I could be wrong. Could be a BiPAP. You have to do stomach crunches. Good reminder. Yeah, I mean, you gotta rotate through. It can be difficult to find time, and I've actually put on more load on my schedule because right now I have a serious earnest need to learn French, which I started pretty much yesterday. Today I signed up for through a French site to pay $10 a month to learn French because I am sub-conversational with French, but I really want to get really good at French. And then after that, I want to learn Spanish as well as American Sign Language. So I have a lot on my plate. Plus, I'm also learning crypto. I'm on like today should be day 98 because yesterday my streak is still good. My streak is like 97 days, something like that. So today will be streak day 98 for the number of days I've been doing my learning of Python. So I'm still in it to win it. So I'll try and do maybe an hour, maybe even half an hour, who knows, sometimes even a couple minutes. It depends on how busy I am, but I'm just trying to learn. I've also bought a few books on just because, they say some of the biggest investments, or the best, I should say, not biggest, but the best, will be like stocks, art. What else would there be? In books. Invest in yourself, in knowledge. And knowledge is a very big investment these days because you can actually have a sustainable and verifiable advantage if you actually just learn about things that maybe other people don't want to invest their time in. So I've been buying a lot of books that have a lot of good ratings from very good authors, and that will be on my list to learn and read. I will fit in my schedule. It's not like something I'll set some time aside, but that sometimes, life happens, you get busy. Plus I have a whole ton of other stuff I'm always learning. I am getting working my way in another master's degree. So I'm doing that right now. A lot of stuff going on, but hey, I got 7 days in a week to do it, 16 hours a day, each day. I can make it happen. All right. Anyways, let's get into this. So we got some sort of pat machine here, and DLF is going to talk his crap. Let's go.
Hey kiddies, it's Dragon Lord Frodo. I'm gonna make this brief because I'm about to go to sleep at 7 o'clock at night. That's why I got my CPAP. Not CPAP, CPAP. Come on, Willie.
I figured typically if you have one of these machines, it will be CPAP's the most common, right? Because there's CPAP, BiPAP, APAP, DPAP, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Look, there's Willie.
Not a CPAP, it's an old bouncy house pump to keep Frodo inflated.
I actually did confirm that. Here, so you don't see everything in glaucoma vision. Let me wipe down this camera. There should be no glaucoma vision. So I confirmed today that, remember I said last night I got somebody was knocking at the door and ringing my doorbell at like fucking 1 a.m. I did confirm it was the police. More specifically, it was
Cypher.
the dicks. Now, here's how I know. Because when I got back from my doctor appointment today, I got back around 4:30 or so. But first, I stopped at the library to upload a video, and then I came back home. And about 5 minutes after I got home, I got another knock at the door with more doorbell ringing. It was the same type of knock and doorbell ringing. It wasn't
Is it like the same type of like cop knock? Worst Bane cosplay ever? Yeah, he's not a Bane. He's more like a Pain.
like that obnoxious cop knock shit. It was more of just normal knock, you know. So that happened again around 4:30 ish. Okay.
I love that his radio flyer cart is in his bedroom. I was well as his walker. You guys see that in the far right side of the screen? You got that red radio flyer. How do you describe it? Like cart. Yeah, it's a cart that he just transports shit in. And then his walker from when he messed up his leg. And I think it was it a ACL injury that he had? I believe so. If somebody wants to correct me, go ahead.
And it was like 5 minutes after I got home. So I listened for I didn't answer the door again, but I listened for the elevator beeping. And I went out on my balcony after I heard the elevator beeping and saw two men dressed like dicks go into an unmarked car. It was a black car that was just parked it was parked like not right up against the curb, but it was like it was a little bit off to the I can't explain it, but I saw one of the dicks with a piece of paper in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them actually looked like Makuchi. I couldn't really tell, but one of them looked like Makuchi.
You know what? That would always make me laugh, calling a cop Makuchi. You and SJam doing some kinky shit tomorrow. That stream was wild, man. I can't believe that. I was literally at Berry Cam in Montreal at a place that I typically stay because, you know, the prices of shit is too expensive and I can't really justify spending like $200 to $300 on like a hotel, especially when the future is very uncertain. And I'd be damned if I'm gonna go down in an uncertainty for like the next 4 years. So I stay downtown, Berry Camp place, really nice place, clean, lovely people, and like SJam was doing like some super wild shit, super wild.
And I'm not exactly sure why the dicks would be here. Well, if it was Makuchi, it would be. I don't know. I don't know if it was Makuchi or not, but I just saw two guys that were dressed like your typical dicks. You know, they kind of look you know, like fucking trench coats and shit or whatever. You know, like remember when the FBI showed up and it was Makuchi and Schmidt?
Mm-hmm.
They were dressed kind of like that. It was two dudes and they got into a car.
What kind of car? You know how when cop cars used to be like those Mercury ones? like those town and country type of cars. Remember those back in the day? Now these days, cop cars are like Fords, Chevrolets. What else is there? Typically, I see a lot of Fords, a lot of Chevrolets, but also I've seen Toyotas too. Like they could truly be anything.
And one of them was holding a paper of some
Used to
sorts.
be Mercury Marauders for cop cars.
And
Yeah, Crown Vics. Yes, thank you, B Free Crown Vics.
so I think the dicks are trying to get to me. I have no idea what this is about. And frankly, I don't care if I have a warrant for my arrest for some shit. Then they should be getting the office staff to come up and open the door and get me. Okay, they have a warrant, they can come in. No warrant, no entry.
Okay, in the defense of DLF, it that because the cops are at your apartment building, not a house, the cops could be there for anybody. Your apartment building is nice, but there are still people that live there with a plethora of mental health issues. It could be there for anybody. Just because you see cops there doesn't mean it's always about you. Just saying.
That means if they're not going to be willing to get the maintenance people to come up and open my door, I don't really have to talk to them, and I don't really have to open up the door. Especially since, there was a shooting in the building. There was shooting outside a couple days ago.
So maybe they're there for
There's
that.
people sleeping in the halls sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't answer the door. I don't answer the door unless I know who it is. Unless I'm expecting somebody. So there's that. If I'm not expecting somebody, I don't answer the door. The only reason I answer the door for those cops a couple weeks ago when they took me to CPAP is because they banged so fucking hard on that door that it literally just scared the shit out of me, and I couldn't even help. I couldn't help like yelling, "What the fuck is that?"
All right, for background knowledge, when he says CPAP, CPAP is psychiatric emergency. So it's a behavioral health sciences of wing of ECMC, which is a health, how do you put it, health campus is what they call. They don't even call them hospitals anymore. They say these are health campuses. And part of ECMC, you have CPAP, which is a psychiatric emergency. So when you have mental health issues, people, a doctor or I guess a healthcare professional will refer you to CPAP if you are in the Buffalo area. Why is there nothing going
And
on
my
in Toronto?
therapist says
That's because shit was happening in Vancouver, man. Prayers, my thoughts out to all those individuals who had their loved ones mowed down by a vicious assailant. Is completely disgusting. We live in a day and age that even I have to think about if I go to a festival or gathering with lots of people that I could literally get slammed into by like a van or a truck or a car and get mowed over. This is the day and age we're living in where people are very angry. There is a lack of mental health services. Funny how we're talking about CPAP, but there is a lack of mental health services. A lot of people with mental health issues are being put in jail, having their issues unresolved when they should be in an institution or have it checked. And then they get angry, they get into vehicles, and then they unalive people. So this is completely disgusting to me that multiple people lost their lives last night in Vancouver, British Columbia over this bullshit when there should be much more of a focus on mental health, especially in this day and age where we just went through COVID and we're now going through tariff shit and nothing's happening.
that the reason they knock like that
Yeah, it is Cypher.
The reason they knock like that, if it, the reason they would knock like that is because they are trying to come and get you. But if it's one of those, if it's like a soft knock kind of thing, then they're not really, it's not really urgent, but they are still looking for me. I have no idea
Hey,
what this is
Ziggy.
about, and I don't.
It didn't happen in Toronto, Ziggy. The Toronto thing was a couple years ago. I remember exactly where I was when that happened with that guy on Yonge Street. But last night, unfortunately, many people lost their lives. Many others injured because a person plowed into a Filipino festival in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So I'm extremely saddened to constantly being woken up to news to the point where I can't even remember what happened with people going to schools. Like what happened to Florida? Was it FSU, Florida State University? And what happened there? What, like a week and a half ago? And then we have this other shit in Vancouver. Then we keep having stuff like happening all over the world where people are just targeting individuals that are unprepared and can't fight back, and then they get unalived. It's really sick. When did it happen? It happened last night.
Don't really care, and I really don't want. I'm not going to turn myself in or ask if I have a warrant or anything. Uh, as far as Lord Trimper goes, I haven't been bothering her, so I don't know. I doubt it's because of her. I haven't been bothering my parents. Um, so there's that. Um, I did do a police report against my mother yesterday,
Exactly,
but
Ziggy.
I mean, my mother's vindictive, and she would try to contact me just so I could go to the police, and then in retaliation, go to the police herself. So that's the only thing I can think of is that because I went to the police and filled out that report. Now she's in retaliation mode and is going to try to fucking say whatever she has to say to keep That's what.
The way how this man's thought process is, okay, DLF, once again, you live in an apartment building. The cops aren't necessarily there for you. And if they were, I mean, they're not gonna chicken out and not go to your door. They're gonna get you, no matter if they gotta wait for a couple of minutes or hours, they're gonna get you. I don't understand what the thinking. Like his mind just goes off in a tangent and down the rabbit hole we go, right?
You know what? That's what we're going to start calling my Uncle Mark from now on. Uncle Happy Hands. Um, so, yeah, like I said, I don't answer doors after hours. And I determine what's after hours here. So I could just say after hours is 24 hours a day. After hours is whatever I don't have,
What kind of thinking
when
is
I'm
this?
not expecting anybody. So
Like, yikes.
that's that. After hours can be whatever the fuck I feel like it. Especially since there was a shooting in the building about a year ago. There was gunshots outside my building the other day. People in the hall sleeping, people in the hall passed out on drugs, whatever.
Ziggy.
People, walking by my fucking door and knocking on it and ringing the doorbell. People knocking on the door, ringing on the doorbell in the middle of the night, asking me for money. You get the whole point. So I just don't, like if I'm not expecting somebody, I just don't answer the door.
Cypher, yeah, street festival. I would, yeah, like same with you. I would definitely be going to a Filipino street festival, trying out Filipino food, which I had before. I love it. I like going to Jollibee. Interesting stuff. Like this is me going out to a place, supporting the community, and then all of a sudden some guy just rams his vehicle into me. It's very scary stuff. Like times where a lot of people, like Ziggy said, are very angry, and I've said this a million times, and then they take it out on other people who are unprepared and trying to have a good time, trying to, give back to their community or give back to another community, be a cohesive unit, and then all of a sudden you lose your life because of it. It's actually pretty sick. Sup, Instagram?
There, if the dicks want to come after me, if the dicks need me that fucking bad, catch me off guard. That's all I gotta say. And if it's something to do with like the police report that I made, and they're trying to contact me for additional information or whatever, they want to ask me some questions about what happened. All I gotta say to that is, you don't have to do the sneak attack. And
I love the burn marks. What are these? They look like burn marks. Could be cut marks. Something's happening with his pillow sheets. I love it that he will emphasize getting some green over getting some new sheets at Walmart or something, or tons of other places. Like I don't even mind sheets like at places like Canadian Tire, but you guys don't have Canadian Tire in the States. Like there is TJ Maxx. You can get pretty good sheets because TJ Maxx offshoots are like Marshalls and Winners here,
come
right?
over here. If I'm not a suspect, you could just call me.
Yeah, look at these
You
sheets.
just
They're
call
cut
me on the
marks right there.
phone, and I will come down there. If I'm not a
Two large ones.
suspect, it doesn't matter.
They look like burns though.
But
What he be smoking?
if I'm not a suspect, then there should be no reason that they have to that they have to get the element of surprise on me. So if it's something to do with like they want more information about my mom doing bomb threat, uh, you know, contacting me, which he shouldn't, you could just call. You could just call me, and that's about it.
Yes, the cops
So
should just call you.
and that's what I would prefer. I would prefer
Okay.
not to have all kinds of people over here. So there you go.
Yeah, that's totally what the cops are gonna do. They're gonna listen to you, and instead of doing their job the way how they want to do it and what their procedures, policies, and procedures are, they'll listen to your YouTube, or should I rather say Rumble video, and be like, okay, Dragon Lord Frodo, we'll just do it your way.
Also tomorrow I actually yesterday or wow, earlier today I said I had a job I actually have 2 job interviews tomorrow back to back.
Good for him.
But good thing they're pretty close by. So
Maybe he'll ride his trike, or maybe take the bus if they're close by. Close by can actually mean anything. Maybe a literal short walk, maybe a tricycle ride, maybe a short bus ride. Marshalls carry high quality items. They do. I like going to Winners and Marshalls these days because I can get some really good stuff at pretty affordable prices. His mom's a nurse. She's a respectable working individual. Unfortunately, she never held Mike accountable, so he's just an overgrown baby. Yeah, Mama Scrunch should, already be back from Florida. That's her usual thing, right? Going to Florida for like an extended amount of time, because that's what Mama Scrunch does. She also loves to gamble, but remember, me and Mama Scrunch, we've been ops for a while now, and we continue to be ops to each other.
it's not going to be that big of a deal. I give myself an allowance tomorrow, so I'll be probably gone, probably
Ziggy.
all day tomorrow, because I got an interview at 2, and I got one at 4 as well, and they're both in Tonawanda, so
Okay.
there
Getting
you
a little bit
go.
close to the poop squatch.
So I don't know. I might get something to eat afterward, or whatever. Um, so that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, there's a place in Tonawanda
So
he likes
what's
to go
tomorrow?
to.
Thursday? Okay, so the library's open at 10 tomorrow.
I think there's a place on Niagara Street in Tonawanda that he likes to go to. Like he's talked about this before. Like there's a place right by the Niagara River, so pretty much Niagara Street, that he likes to go to and maybe have a bite to eat. I mean, does anybody have a problem with that? At least he's trying. Uh any progress with the S Jam Shrimp Linguini dinner invite? We shall see, Bali, because it's tomorrow. Maybe I'll take a little not a short drive, but a long drive to Grand Bend and see what happens, Bali. We shall see. I gotta visit KKK Jam and
That's
see
what
what
I'll do.
happens.
I'll probably go to the library, upload this, and get on with my day. I also gotta get myself a new bike tube, like for the tire. But I have to take the wheel off first,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So
Facts, Ziggy. Hopefully.
I just gotta take the wheel off and get the tube out of there. So
Yeah, I think he has a lot of bike tube problems because one, he leaves his tricycle out in the winter without prepping it for the winter. Like, or one of the things I think he should do is if like not leave the bike out. He has the space in his place. Like, what is he doing with the walker there? Just take your bike apart if it's too big and put it inside. Therefore, it doesn't start rusting because all that oxidation is the problem, and then you get problems with your tube and your tires. And this happens regularly, practically every spring. He has to, do tube stuff. Then take the wheels off your bike. Like, why is this so hard for this man to understand that the winter is a problem when you leave your bike out there for like months at a time without doing anything to your bike to prep it for winter, and then this happens? He should cover his bike. Yeah, or even simply covering the bike could spare him a lot of problems, because all that happens during the winter is like the snow comes down, it gets packed up, then the rust is happening, which is slow oxidation. And then you start to get like rust welding and all types of like bullshit happening to your tires. It's not good.
I gotta get the
Keep it
tube out of
inside or
there because
cover
I
it.
gotta bring it down to the bike store and tell them I gotta show them this is the type of tube I need for my bike. So
Always having problems
anyway,
with the tires every single time.
I can't think of anything. I can't think of any crime I've committed or anything that would get the dicks down here. Ugh. Because I haven't been contacting the lesbians, and haven't been bothering my mom. Haven't been making any threats. So who knows? Anyway, this is Dragon Lord Frodo, and I approve this message.
You know
Thanks
what
in
would solve
advance
this?
for watching this.
You know what would really solve this, Mike? If you stop making threats to those ladies, and then you don't have to worry about the dicks coming after you. It's pretty simple. Don't make threats to these ladies, and then you don't have to
Really
worry about the dicks. All right, we're gonna go to. I'm going to the Cheektowaga Police Clambake. He did this last year, didn't he? The cop Clambake going to Boston this summer. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Dragon Little Frodo in Boston. Isn't Boston called Bean? I'm pretty sure. AK the 3. Yeah, Boston is called the Bean, isn't it? AK the 3. Because yeah, Toronto's called the 6. Boston is called the Bean. Let me verify this. I used to listen to Benzino. So this is how I know that. Yeah, Boston is commonly nicknamed Beantown or the Bean, aka the 3. All right, let's go. We're going to this. Like I said, you know what the title is. You know what it is. Let's go.
All right, kiddies, it's Dragon Lord Frodo. Oh my God.
Yeah, Ziggy. He
What's
allegedly
up, Willie? Come here, Willie.
he's been actually thinking the cops were there for him, but he lives in an apartment with, I don't know, hundreds of people. The cops could be there for anybody, especially if you had a shooting like a week ago. There could be further investigations. Who knows why they were really there? Plus, there's stores and shops downstairs. So the cops could literally be going to a store or a shop, or they could be going for somebody else in his building. He just automatically assumes whenever he sees cops, they're there for him.
Oh, he's taking a shit. All right, so little update. I'm doing this video just so I have an excuse to go to the library later. So Mama Scrunch will definitely be paid off sometime next week.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cypher. Probably is.
When did I say the 3rd was? Oh, today's the 26th. So let me just make sure. So today's the 26th. And
Sometimes you never truly know what DLF is up to. I think there is literally an iceberg. You know how they do those iceberg things on YouTube? There is probably an iceberg when it comes to DLF and the shit that he does on the internet that you probably have no idea. Probably this man probably even accesses the gray net, maybe the deep web, the deep dark side of the internet. He's accessing with his Tor browser. You never know, but there is such a thing as places you shouldn't be going to on the internet. And there is an iceberg. Let me look this up, like the internet iceberg image of like the different levels of the internet, like the surface web, the deep web, and then the dark web. You think DLF accesses the dark web? Maybe the deep web, because people interchange that a lot, don't they? When they truly mean the deep web, but they say the dark web, because the dark web is a whole different, animal when it comes to like internet stuff.
and let's see. Okay, so the 1st is going to be on a third. The 1st is Thursday. So there you go. She wants her money by the 3rd, which is Saturday. I might get my money either Thursday or Friday. Wednesday, I gotta go to food pantry.
True, Cypher. That's very true.
I was supposed to be starting this job. I don't know what the hell's going on. They're having a conniption over there because I said I wanted. They asked.
Yeah, the update is Ziggy. He's $60 short to pay Mama Scrunch her $3,000, so he's been trying to get the $60. Firstly through donations and secondly through saving. He just wants his computer back. So as soon as he can pay her off, he wants his computer back. Personally, still, I wouldn't be paying that much money for a computer. Like he has a $7,000 computer. Holy crap!
They asked me at the interview. They asked me if I had any, plans. You know, if I needed a day off or something. And I said, "Hi, Willie." I said, "I do, but I just don't know what date it was." Okay. I said I would get back to them on it, and they said it was no problem. But I actually need June 13th off because that's the clam bake in Cheektowaga. What was I
Right,
doing? Oh yeah.
7K on a non-work PC. He probably doesn't even take advantage of most of the things that his video card can do. I'm like, the guy games, but he doesn't game with like, the top of the line games that have just come out. He games like old school games.
Sometimes a couple days before I get my Social Security money, it'll show up in my bank account as a pending transaction. Let me see if that shows up. Willie, you need to stop. You need to stop.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes,
A new Ryzen.
sometime, like I said,
Jesus, I'm with Intel. I'm always just gonna do Intel. I've been scared off like AMD processors ever since I bought that Acer Ferrari laptop, and I never got to use it because it was so shitty and slow.
sometimes it'll show up. Sometimes it'll just hit me out of the blue. Yeah, it's not showing up. It might be a little too early. Willie, you need to stop sniffing my asshole while I sleep.
What?
So
Why is your cat sniffing your asshole while you sleep? Like, really?
we got
There's a
the we got
reason.
the Cheektowaga Police Clam Bake on June 13th. I gotta go down to the Cheektowaga Police Station sometime before that. We got some time. But I have to go down to the Cheektowaga Police Station to get my clam bake ticket. Willie. There you go. There you go. There you go. Why don't you, hi. I gotta go to. All right. Why you gotta lay on me so weird? Why you gotta lay on me all off kilter? Hi. I gotta go down to the police station on, I don't know, sometime, but you can just walk in and ask at the desk for a clam bake ticket. And I might, you know what else I might actually do too, because it's kind of a walk. It's kind of like not a long walk. It's probably like half a mile. But like I would get off the bus, and then I would have to walk that. But what I could also do too is like if I'm in Cheektowaga,
Mm-hmm.
and I see some Cheektowaga police, I'm not gonna flag down a Cheektowaga police car.
I'm not really sure if he loves seafood. He goes to the clam bake because he thinks, how do I put it? It's a verifiable thing if he shows up with tons of cops there and he doesn't get arrested. I know it's weird thinking, but remember, he is autistic. So he shows up, and if he's there and he engages at minimum with people or not at all, and there's cops there and he doesn't get arrested, then he's in the clear. This is his literal thinking from like, when was it? Over a year ago? Because the last clam bake, I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago that that he went to the clam bake.
If I see a police car in like, you know, parked or something, I'll just go up to them and say, ask them if they have any tickets on hand. Willie, instead of going all the way to the fucking police station. No, Willie, Willie. Hey.
Aw, you can tell his cat loves him. That's when you know you got love there, when your cat does that to you. My cat, John, is currently doing that to me right now. You don't see me on camera, but honestly,
I think the last year.
John has been literally all over me since I've been streaming, and he's right behind me right now. He's been trying to get in my lap again. I will allow him, but it depends, because then he wants to get all over my keyboard and he keeps rubbing himself against me. You know, when your cat loves you, when they do those like little love bites and they rub themselves against you because they want to set you up. It's super cute.
I went there and I went to the police station and I had like $40 and the ticket was like 30, and I was like, we don't have change for a 10. I'm like, what the fuck? And I had to walk all the way to the fucking 7-Eleven.
Okay, they said that to you because they want you to give them an extra $10. Okay, goes to the police fund. This man's cheapo, so he walks back to the 7-Eleven to get the change. I mean, I kind of get it, especially if you're on Social Security, you're in like a budget. But this is the same guy that has a $7,000 computer. Okay,
What was it? Union. It was like Union Road. It was like near the Polish Villa. There's a 7-Eleven. I had to walk all the way. It's across from the apple tree. I was like, son of a bitch. I had to go over there and buy I bought a scratch off and I won like $20 off of it. I was like,
nice.
okay. And I won the $20 and went back to the police station. So whatever. I think it was like last year, but this time I'm just I'll bring a 20 and a 10. But this job that I'm hopefully gonna start next week. I don't know what it is, but the guy texted me the other day, or he tried calling me, and I guess I was like out and about or something, and I don't answer the phone when I'm out because I don't like talking on the phone. Well,
All right, should we go forward? Let me listen to this. If it's interesting, I'll continue. If not, I'm going forward.
I'll be in public, so I'll just wait till I get home, and call. And he called me, left a message because he said during the interview he was asking me about if I had any plans or something, and I said I do, but I just don't know the date. And it was the clam bake, and I didn't know the date at the time, and I ended up messaging the police.
You mean moved as in, yeah, I've been moved for a while. I just gotta still clean up my attic. But yeah, isn't like if you have any plans, as in if you have any recent plans that might interfere with, working in the first, I don't know, week, month, 2 months, 3 months, like typically that is a common question because they want to know if you're gonna go on vacation or you have stuff that you've planned and didn't necessarily think you could get a job at the set date and the start at the set time. Like typically you would have this packed down, right? Why doesn't he? If you're gonna go to Boston, if you have things that you need time off for, you gotta tell them or change your plans.
On the
No worries,
Facebook,
Ziggy.
like, what is the clam bake? and they got back to me. They said it was June 13th, and then I texted the guy back and told him it was, I got the clam bake on June.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth
Oh,
to rebuild
I
your
gotta
gums and
skip
teeth and
this.
never need a dentist again. Did you know there is a natural way
Wow.
to
13th. It's a Friday. It's always on a Friday.
Okay, a clam bake, a cup clam bake isn't a priority when you're trying to get a job. But then again, this is a guy who gets Social Security, so he really isn't that strapped for cash. I think if he truly had to work, especially in this economy where there are hundreds of thousands of people in America right now losing their jobs because a lot of industries are laying off people. Even here in Canada, car industry is screwed. Agriculture is screwed. I heard, which country was it that's breaking their trade ties with the United States? I forgot which one it is, but it's literally on the other side of the world. I forgot if it was like Indonesia or where else was it? One or Singapore, one of those countries. I think it could be Singapore, could be Indonesia. I gotta check it out, but that is pretty significant.
And he called me like the next day or something, and I didn't answer the phone because I was as the Canadians would say, as Monty would say, or Monty wouldn't say it because he's not actually Canadian, but like Foodie Beauty would say, like oot in a butt,
Oot in a boot.
and
I don't know any Canadians that actually says
the
that.
message he left, he was like, we have some questions about your requested time off. And I called him back, and he didn't answer. And then later, like a couple hours later or so, he gets back to me and says, "Oh, we're short-staffed. I couldn't get back to you. I had time earlier." I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh my God. And he said, "I'll call you tomorrow," which was supposed to be yesterday. He didn't get back to me yesterday. I texted him. I'm like, "What's the story?" And he gets back to me. I texted him around like maybe 4. He didn't get back to me till fucking 9 at night last. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Oh, we're short staffed. I had no time to call you. I'll call you Monday about it." He said that there was some questions about my time off. I'm like,
My
okay, like
God.
what the fuck is the problem? I'm requesting.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you might not be getting that job. Just saying, especially if they gotta ask you additional questions. But it seems like these individuals want to work with them because typically, with a lot of jobs, if they have a problem with it like that and they gotta ask you additional questions, you'll just be like, "No, we're just gonna go somebody else."
requesting one day off for something that's like a month and a half away. Okay. And I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, but I don't know. But and then I also told him too. And I here's the other thing. I haven't really announced this yet, but once I'm done paying off Mama Scrunch, okay, we're going to do like we did when we went to Cleveland. I'm actually thinking about doing another trip. But I'm not going to Cleveland. I want to go to Boston this time, Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
And we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this like we're going to Cleveland. Like we're gonna try this like the way we went to Cleveland. Like I'm gonna pay off Mama Scrunch, and then we're gonna do this like we're gonna take all the fives and the singles, okay, and we're going to put them all in an envelope, and then that's how I'm gonna save for now. So I told him I am thinking about going out of town for like we're doing it like we went to Cleveland like a weekend.
Wait, he's telling them
But
that?
like I wouldn't be I already got my schedule. Like it's like Monday. It's like Monday. It's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be Monday through Friday for like 4 hours a day. This time, no weekends.
He can travel. He went to Cleveland last year. He spent a few days in Cleveland, oddly of all places to go to. Could have gone to Chicago, could have gone to Boston, could have gone to New York City. Heck, you could have gone to, I don't know, where else? Where else is a good place? LA, San Diego, Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas. I don't know, Tampa, Florida, Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. Lots of places to go to, but he chose Cleveland, Ohio, strangely enough.
So I have the entire weekend free.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, in fact, they actually gave him money to go to Cleveland, which, yeah, strangely enough, they gave him like a stipend of a couple $100 so that he could actually go to Cleveland. It's weird, but he does have a county worker that can request extra funds for him, and they do that. So he truly doesn't have much to worry about, especially in this economy.
so and I don't know what the problem is. Is it the clam bake or is it me going out of town? Because even if I went out of town for a weekend, it shouldn't really affect the way I work. I might have to take
That
like
is a
a day or two off, like that Friday or that Monday off, to to recoup, to like rest up. But
He has zero understanding that, yeah, to take time off or be sick during a probationary period is a big no-no. But I guess in his head, he thinks it's okay. It really doesn't. It really does matter what kind of hire, because there are tons of people who will. There are tons of people who will hire people that are visible, that have visible disabilities or invisible disabilities, and they're okay with them having time off because their mental health or other things. Like there's a ton of diversity hiring happening, which I think is an extremely good thing. Gives people work and something to accomplish, because there's a lot of people who won't necessarily find like the regular type of work that everybody else can do.
but whatever. But I'm thinking about this. Like I am thinking about doing the Amtrak again, and it's the same train that takes me to Cleveland. That takes you to Boston as well, because that same train, I think it's called the Lake Shore or something like that. You could go look it up on the Amtrak website. It's called the
Yeah,
Lake
let me look
Shore
this up.
Limited or something.
Yeah.
And basically it goes from Chicago to Boston, okay? And it goes, I think the route goes like Chicago. Okay, it goes from Chicago, and then it has a stop in somewhere in Indiana, I think. I forget the city in
Mhm.
Indiana. It goes from Chicago and then Indiana, and then it goes. I think there's another stop somewhere in Ohio somewhere.
Oh my God. It goes Chicago, South Bend, Indiana, Elkhart, Indiana, Waterloo, Indiana, Bryan, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Sandusky, Ohio, Elyria, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Rochester, Syracuse, Utica, Schenectady, Albany, Rensselaer. I probably mispronounced that, but Rensselaer. I would pronounce it like Rensselaer. It sounds pretty French. but it's probably maybe Albany Rensselaer. I don't know. Then Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Springfield, Worcester, Framingham, Boston, Rhinecliff, Poughkeepsie, New York, uh, Croton Harmon. I know how to pronounce Poughkeepsie because I've been there, but there's Croton Harmon, then New York. So it literally goes from Chicago to New York City through Cleveland, Ohio, and through Boston. I mean, it's a pretty good line.
And then Cleveland, and then Erie, PA, and then Buffalo, and then Rochester, and maybe Syracuse, I think, New York City, and then I think somewhere in between New York City and Boston. So it goes from Chicago to Boston. So here's what I'm thinking, okay? I already kind of looked it up, okay? It's the same fucking time that
he needs to walk the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, maybe he should go to the Ozarks while we're at it, right?
it's the same.
Can you imagine Frodo on the Appalachian Trail? Frodo doing the Ozarks.
Time that the same time. It's the same schedule as back at last year when I went to Cleveland. So when I went to Cleveland, I had to get on the train. I had to be there. I had to be at the train station in Depew. Okay, Depew, New York. It's the trains. There's an Amtrak train. The thing is that Buffalo has 2 Amtrak stations, okay? There's one in Depew, which is it's a suburb of Buffalo, okay? And that train station is on Dick Road. No, that's the name of the...
I mean, you really could do the Ozarks, right? Because I don't know. It wouldn't be too bad.
Fucking street. We have a street around here called Dick Road. I don't know the history of why it's called that. Somebody told me that the reason... Oh, I just farted. Somebody told me the reason it's called Dick Road, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what I was told. The reason we have a Dick Road in Depew, the reason why it's called that is when they were set. Hold on a second. When they were setting up. When they were, building the roads, and somebody that knows the history can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, the reason why it's called Dick Road, it's because when they were...
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again. Did you know there is a
building the roads in that area, it was all like farmland and shit back then. And there was one guy that was protesting the roads. He was a farmer or something, and they wanted to build roads, through his farmland, I guess. And this guy's name was Richard, and he was like he would protest the companies that were doing the that were building the roads around there, and his name was Richard.
I don't know where this is going.
They ended up winning the company or whatever, but they called the road that went through his farmland Dick Road after this guy Richard, and they basically was mocking him and was like, yeah, that Richard is a dick, so we're just gonna call this Dick Road because the Richard the Dick.
I have no idea if that's true.
Yeah, that's what I was told. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I think Dick Griffin actually told me that. I don't know if he was joking or not, but that's what I was told. If anyone knows any different, let me know. I have no idea, but
I tried looking it up. I don't know.
Anyway, I looked up the Amtrak schedule. It's the same as last year. So last year when I went to Cleveland, I had to get to the Amtrak station because what was it? The thing left at like 12:30 or something, 12:39, I think it was, from the Dick Road station.
You think he'd fit into the Hills of Eyes? You know, that's like based on a true story, allegedly, supposedly, right? About well, it's like one story was based off like a Scotsman that had like a wife and he had kids and they were like cannibals. Let me look it up. Like the Hills of Eyes history.
Like
yes, Sonny Bean
in the morning.
Be free, you are an educated man. But like, who am I? Sonny Bean. Yeah, but then they say that Sonny Bean was actually based off another person from like 200 to 300 years before that. But yeah, Sonny Bean was a Scotsman, right? That had a wife and had a kids that would like pull people off their horses and cannibalize them, and they got really good at it. Except this one time somebody was able to fight them off and told a lot of people about it, and they captured him and all his like 14 kids. Sonny Bean.
So like midnight, 39 minutes past midnight.
Yeah, exactly, Be Free, you're right.
And got to Cleveland around 3:30 in the morning or so. So, and then coming back from Cleveland, it was coming back from Cleveland. I got I think the train from Cleveland left at like 6 in the morning or something. Going back to Buffalo, it left at 6 in the morning, and I didn't get back until like 9 something in Buffalo. So I'm thinking because we're going the opposite way, okay? I would have to be at the Amtrak station and go to Boston. I would have to be there around 9 in the morning. And then it's kind of a long ride. It's like a 9-hour ride to Boston, I guess. It's actually longer than that because when I went to New York City on the and this was a mega bus too.
Yeah.
When I went to New York City, it was 9.5 hours from Buffalo to New York City.
Makes sense.
Okay. And 9.5 hours on the mega bus. A good thing good thing. The thing with the Megabus though is that they do stop at a couple rest stops along the way. So and they stop for like a half hour each, which is nice because I get to get up and stretch and shit and
you get like a tour of your state, and if it goes what's the route for the train? Yeah, it goes New York, then it'll hit Massachusetts, then it'll go down past like Connecticut, right, and into New York. I believe that's like the route. I mean, you get to see a lot of states, lots of places you wouldn't necessarily see, as long as you can make it back in the half an hour.
The fucking bathroom at the rest
fly
stop.
You mean fly with what's that service? Spirit. Would you rather fly with Spirit rather than taking the train? The train is pretty expensive, but it depends though. If it's like a track where I used to take the train because it was a lot easier and faster when I lived in Connecticut in New Haven to take the train from New Haven into New York City and pass by all sorts of like places in Connecticut. It's actually pretty cool. But typically here in Canada and America, the train is more expensive. It's funny how the train is an inexpensive service in a lot of cities in the world, but here we get screwed over where taking the train is a luxury, where other places the train is a means of common transportation. So here in Canada, it's cheaper to actually drive than take the train, while other places is actually way cheaper to take the train than drive.
And whatever. And the thing with that is, the Amtrak will just be a straight run. So it would just stop at the fucking train stations along the way. And I could actually go to Boston at the other from the other Amtrak station downtown, but the other Amtrak station, it doesn't go it doesn't go. You could get to New York City, but then I would have to change trains in New York City. If I go to one in Depew, I don't have to change trains. I just stay on the fucking train, and then we go through New York City and all that shit. But I'm guessing I would have to.
So I used to do first class 120 round trip from Kingston to Ottawa when I went to Queens. That's actually really expensive because Kingston to Ottawa driving is literally about an hour and a half. Because by the time I get to what was it, the 416, right? That cuts down, and then I get past certain areas. I'm practically in Ottawa in an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops if I'm going to Byward Market area. Yeah, it is the 416. For 120, that's a lot of money even if it's round trip. Trains are way too expensive in Canada. I might as well drive. It costs me round trip maybe $30-$40 in gas.
Get up and get down to that fucking Amtrak station at 9 in the morning or something. Which should it'll actually be nice because I can it'll be the sun will be up. Because that was the problem going to Cleveland. I didn't get to see shit because it was all dark. I went in the middle of the night. The entire fucking trip from Buffalo to Cleveland, it was all dark. I couldn't see shit. I didn't get to see any fucking shit. Okay. No, that's just my Xbox making noises.
Yeah, exactly, Ziggy.
But at least if I go to Boston, I could get to see some scenery or whatever. But
yeah, I think Boston is a pretty good trip. Like he'd like Beantown. Beantown I've never been to, but I always wanted to. I think the closest I've ever been going that way is like New Haven, but it went like north. Like I used to go West Haven a lot, New Haven, East Haven when I was living in New Haven. Tons of stuff to do and see then. I'd go to casino here and there, not like super often. I think the furthest north I've maybe been is like Hartford or close to there, Hartford, Connecticut. Never been to Springfield, Massachusetts. I should have. Maybe I should have driven that way, but I didn't. Okay, so I need to see Boston Road, Boston, and I need to go to Providence, Rhode Island. Frodo can't drive. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of that is an issue, right? He wants to drive, but I'm not really sure if his anger might cause problems behind the wheel because these days people are doing all sorts of funky stuff on the roads.
I'm guessing it's going to be around 9 hours, give or take. I think it's like to Buffalo to New York is like 9 hours, and then New York to Boston is like another like 4 or something. I remember when Juicy came to Buffalo and she said from Buffalo to where the hell's Juicy from? Somewhere in Maine.
Yeah, well, Juicy's practically gonna be a millionaire in a couple years. The amount of like view she gets on her videos in her Misery Machine channel, and I think she has another one now. But I gotta congratulate her. Like, there's a lot of people that have come up, right? Because before she was maybe getting a couple thousand views in a video, but now she gets like hundreds of thousands of views in a video. So good for her that she's escaped the grasp of Dragon Lord Frodo and his bullshit and his trappings of making a little so-called quote lesbian album and putting her Juicy and somebody else in a U-Haul moving truck.
Lewiston, Maine. She said it was like 9 hours. Hi.
That makes sense.
Well, that's driving. That's just straight driving, and she probably knows the shortcuts and shit.
Yeah,
she probably just goes like up through like Vermont or whatever. But
you think so? Like it's getting monotonous. Yeah, you don't wanna become complacent because there's constant competition, right? You gotta reinvent yourself. Maybe add new features, maybe do a spin-off. Because yeah, in this internet game, I've seen a lot of channels that used to be popping just not have the views anymore. Like Epic Mealtime, Jesus, that channel was like the biggest a couple years back. Epic Mealtime, the guy can't even pull more than 10,000 views with like millions of subscribers. Is super weird. Another channels like that, Straight Out. I used to watch that prison channel with Big Herc. That guy can't even get 10,000 views when he has millions of subscribers. I mean, it happens. This is part of the game. You just gotta keep reinventing yourself, putting on people who others want to see on your channel.
I don't know.
Imagine Mike on a converted bus.
So I'm guessing was it?
Well, somebody's gonna be driving him free because he can't drive. Yeah, he could do like the van life, the nomadic. But then again, if he does the nomad life outside in New York, that's a problem for his social security.
To get there by 9, get to the station at 9. So like, we're gonna say like it'll take like 11 hours. So like 9 to 9, isn't it? I have no idea. I gotta look it up, but it's just gonna be fucked up because I'm gonna have to look into this. I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't know. Do I really want to sit on a train for that long and get there in the middle of the fucking night?
No joke. Don't try the bull trick before bed unless you're ready to stay as hard as a steel bar all night long. Every time you see an older man leaving a younger woman breathless, you can bet.
I'm sorry. That hit way out of left field. Like, what the hell, man? What the what the hell, Rumble? Rumble, like what? Yo, that caught me totally off guard. What? Like a steel ball? What the hell is going on?
I'm gonna end up getting there at like real late, and then try to find an Airbnb and at that time. I don't know. Let's see how this. I gotta look into it more, but I was hoping I could get there
like a houseboat. Can you imagine him on a houseboat? Can you imagine the maintenance he has to do on said houseboat? He's not doing. This guy can't even clean his room. This guy has like burn marks on his pillows. Okay, probably smelling like sweat, cheese, and ass up in his room.
respectable time. Like I don't really care about the scenery, but let's just say we take the Amtrak train and it's like 9. Leave Buffalo at 9. Get to Boston around, I don't know, 8 at night. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it. I really don't want to do the shit where I have to. I really don't want to do the shit where I have to like change trains or anything. Maybe I'll do something where.
Oh yeah, it's so tedious to change trains. Oh, yikes. OMG. Well, at least the train has a dedicated route, so he doesn't have to change trains. The one that he described, and I looked it up, straight through Buffalo, all the way to Boston, and then it goes down to New York City.
Or maybe I'll do this. Maybe if I could get like a bus there, if I could get there at a good reasonable time, maybe I'll do that and then take the train back or something like that, you know? Because getting back to Buffalo from Boston, it would be like getting back from Boston would be like it would be the same time, but like it'll be same amount of time getting back. It'd be like 11 hours or whatever. But
I just love that he has all this thinking. Should we go forward? I think we've had enough of his thought process when it comes to the train. Oh my God, is he really on the shitter?
It would be like if I went to Cleveland.
This man is on the shitter.
But as you can see, my fucking bathtub is all fucked up.
All right, let's see it.
It's ooh, that stank. My bathtub is like there's like just this water in there.
Yeah.
Say, look.
Oh my God!
And
he's trying to plunge it. OMG, that's a huge hairy ass clog. DLF, like what did you do? I guess them arse here is really plugged up that clogged up that drain.
I'm gonna have to get the bucket brigade out, you know.
Really?
We're gonna have to get the bucket brigade.
Are you saying he shows his shit that he just shit out? Okay, trigger warning, people. Trigger warning. I didn't know who was gonna do this. If I catch it, I'll pause and go forward, but if I don't, you've been warned.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take it bucket by bucket. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Cause you know what it is? You know what it is? It's when I take a shower and cause look at me. Look at me.
This
is me. Okay, this is about.
But typically, it don't clog like that. It's not like you have long hair. I get it. If you have super long hair, it will clog like that often. But this guy has short hair, so you must be doing something nasty for it to clog like that.
All my body hair, when I take a shower,
get maintenance in there.
It falls off,
so they can snake it,
and then it goes on the drain, and it clogs it up. So every so often, my bathtub backs up like that because it's all my body hair going down the drain. You know? And I don't really know how to stop it either.
Get a strainer. Drain strainer. Easy.
Like I tried putting a fucking screen on it or whatever the hell it's called. Like like a thing you put in the drain and it like collects a fucking hair trap, I guess it's called.
Mm-hmm. Simple.
But like it ended up like a month ago, it ended up like backing up real bad. And like all this fucking it turned to like a black sludge. It was like all the hair in there that like dissolved into the water, and then it backed up, and it was like,
my God,
it was like a oily black sludge that came up, and it was fucked up. It was all my fucking hair, and I don't know. If anybody knows anything about plumbing, let me know something.
Should I email him and say, call your landlord, management, and tell them to snake the drain? It's super simple. I think one of the problems is that he doesn't want maintenance people in his place, or he doesn't want them in his place if he can't record them, because supposedly they'll take stuff. Allegedly.
Is it bad? Is it like, how bad is it if I just fucking threw Drano down there? Because everybody says, oh, it fucks up with the pipes.
It does mess up the pipes. The last thing you want to do is put Drano down there. Don't do that. That's the last resort. It does screw up the pipes. Best thing to do is just sneak it.
And I'm thinking, well, okay, so I don't know what kind of pipes they use in here, but if it's the plastic pipes, I don't see how Drano would fuck with the pipes if it's plastic pipes. Because think of it this way, when you buy Drano, it comes in a plastic bottle.
I love it when people have these theories. Okay, there's different types of plastics, DLF. Unlike how acid can eat through certain types of plastics, but it won't eat through other types of plastics. The same logic applies. There's plastics where Drano will essentially corrode, particularly PVC style pipes, which was a huge thing back in like the 80s and 90s. I think the 70s, particularly the 80s and some of the 90s, a lot of people were using PVC. But PVC is practically a thing that is essentially getting cut out of homes. Like there's lots of places because PVC is basically styrofoam, right? And it can't handle stresses like higher heat content. So a lot of whenever they do like plumbing stuff, heating stuff, or anything to do with like HVAC, the black PVC pipes. Well, I say black, but PVC can actually be in any color. They want to get rid of that because it's polyvinyl chloride, right? So it's a thermoplastic resin derived from chlorine and ethylene, but what it's basically piping you do not want in your home because it's bound to crack. Yes, exactly. They will break when frozen or heated. It's literally styrofoam piping.
It comes, it the thing comes in a plastic fucking container. You know, so I don't understand why something that comes, like, if it was that bad for plastic, wouldn't that also mean that, like, the fucking Drano, because from what I understand, like, it's acid and it eats away at the pipes. But if it's plastic pipes and the plastic bottle, wouldn't that just mean that the Drano would just, like, eat away at the plastic and just go all over the place?
Okay, first of all, Drano is an alkaline. It's basic. It's not acidic. Everyone defaults to when they see action where something's being corroded, they always automatically think it's an acidic action. It's not always the case because Drano is actually alkaline, which means what it's doing, it's a base, and that the action that you're seeing is an alkaline action, a basic action, and it's not good for PVC piping. He really needs to do his research.
I don't know. Somebody explain it to me, because I don't really understand. But what I have been using, and it's kind of expensive, so I don't like using it too much. I've been getting this shit called, what's it called? It's called, like, green god shit. It's basically like Drano, but I don't think it's like acid or anything. It's like more pipe friendly. I don't know how it works, but, like, it works. I mean, I ran out of it. This shit's like $20 a bottle, though.
Or you could get your landlord to snake your tub so you don't have that nasty ass water there. You think this man is like showering with that nasty ass, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater type of water, and he's like showering or having baths with that nasty shit? Probably is. I wouldn't put it past him.
And I'm like, well, if I could just get the maintenance people up here, I gotta clean this place too.
Yeah, get the maintenance people up there.
If I get the maintenance people up here to snake that shit out, that would be fine. And I could get that done for free. But I'm gonna ask the maintenance, like, why would if it's plastic pipes, why would the Drano?
He is literally Sasquatch Ziggy. He gets pilonidal cysts all the time to the point where he has to, like, get them out at the hospital. So yeah, he literally is Sasquatch.
Match with the plastic pipes if the Drano comes in a plastic bottle itself.
Don't even
I
joke
never
me,
understood that.
That actually happened at a place in the GTA. I forgot. It was in Durham region, which is like East GTA. This guy did that to a body and put, like, the parts in the pipes, and the pipes got clogged. And the plumbers came in and couldn't clog the pipes by sneaking. Then they did more invasive means, and then they found, like, body parts, like, in the pipe. It was really messed up. But if people know that case, if you've been living in the GTA, you know all about that case, and how the two ladies that this one guy offed. One of the ladies was the granddaughter of a 1%er club, like the founder of a 1%er club. So his ass is cooked in jail. I gotta look it up, but that happened in Durham region. Let me look it up. How will I search? Durham region. Body arts found in pipes, and it probably will tell me.
All right.
Yes, Adam Strong was the guy.
I gotta wash my hands. I don't want Monty Monty seeing my dicky do. Because I don't show my dicky do anymore. I'm just gonna start showing my erect penis.
My God, it's the same thing, Mike. You don't have any.
I'm gonna start showing my erect pen 15.
Right, be free. Crazy.
Well, I mean, you can watch Willie take a shit.
No thanks.
Willie.
Can you imagine the smell? Oh my God, look at that corner there. The guy doesn't even clean. Is that cat shit? That is freaking cat shit right there, right where the towel is. Man, this is nasty for a guy who has all the time in the world and he doesn't clean his shit. Jesus.
Watch Willie take a shit.
This is so wrong. Holy
you
crap.
Watch Willie take a shit.
When I started drinking cold water to help me lose weight,
all right, let's go
friends
past
laughed
this.
at me. But when they saw how fast I was changing.
Willie, what are you doing? Ow. Okay. What are you looking at? I gotta get this place cleaned. Let's Willie take a shit. For once. Instead of watching me take a shit, you can watch Willie take a shit. Willie, is there a mouse?
They have a stare down and Frodo loses. Oh my God, I totally get that. The cat stare downs where like they'll stare at you while they're like taking a shit. Cats are so funny sometimes.
Are you detecting a mouse, Willie? What? Hi.
You better wash his hands. Hopefully he does.
All right. Let me, all right. Willie, move. That's the thing Willie does. He just, I'm trying to like get up and he's just there. And then I move and then he like in front of me. And then
yeah, my cat does literally the same thing. I'll be in the washroom and at least one or even two of three of them are there with me just staring at me. And then they'll block my way. But that's just how cats are. They just want to be around you. You gotta love cats.
I end up falling over them.
Yeah, and they try and trip you. Yes, you just gotta be careful. They're cats.
I also gotta get the fucking maintenance people to put my fucking toilet paper dispenser back on. Let me wash. Willie. Hi. Willie. Get my Irish Spring soap.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that like when you see like an Irish Spring commercial?
Oh my God, look at how...
You ever notice that when you see like an Irish Spring commercial? Why is it that they always shave off part of the fucking bar of soap? Why is that? You ever notice that? Like, but Willie, I don't need you to fucking wash my hands. Oh, by the way, here's that drain thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do anything.
That's because it depends on the style of like your drain, because some of those drain strainers you gotta like take off, the top of your push down type of plug and then put it in, because I have one of those. I have to, because I don't want to ruin my pipes. So I have those catchers on every one of my washrooms. He's a Wookiee. Yeah, that's what happens. Wookiee stuff.
I'm gonna have to get the fucking maintenance people to fucking snake that shit out. All right, Willie, move. All right.
Yeah,
Man,
Thatcher's in
I
my
had
kitchen
some
as well.
weird ass dream last night. Oh my god, I had some weird fucking dream last night. I had a dream. I guess it's not too weird when I start explaining it. But I had a dream my dad became a serial killer. Or not a serial killer. He just became I don't know. He became really, really nasty. And it turns out that he became like that because of me. because I kept calling him a pedophile and shit. And it just turned him into every time he see me, he just slap the shit out of me and everything else. And anytime he would talk to me, he would just yell at me. And I'm like, well, I look back on that dream and I'm like, well, the thing is that I think about it when I call my dad a pedophile or whatever. What, Willie?
Here we go again, trigger warning.
See, here's the thing. I kind of get his side of it, okay? I kind of get their side. I kind of understand. You should be just calling people a pedophile for no reason. But on the other side, I do have a reason, and it's just because.
I'm so sorry to hear, Ziggy. Well, good luck on your move back to Ontario. That really sucks. How long have you been out west now? It's been like a year or so. And positive vibes to your mom.
He calls little girls hot little girls.
All right, we're gonna skip through this since we've had this conversation with DLF ad nauseum. So let's go forward a little bit.
I'm like, what the fuck? That's why I call him a fucking pedophile. And looking back at all this and looking at this through the lens of him saying hot little girl about these underage kids and what I've heard from the guys in jail, that are in for this kind of shit. Willie.
Gotcha, Ziggy. No. And I guess you've been loving it over there. 19 months is a long time. I can't believe it's been that long since you've moved, because I remember when you were telling us about it. We're gonna go forward. We're gonna go forward. So this is like part 1 of 3. You know how he rants. Let's see if we can go to part 2, and we'll see how much of this we get into. Cause he's ranting again. Well, let's go.
If she goes before him, then Snow can start looking for the 18-year-old, and it's like shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what? I get it. I get that. I get that 18 is the fucking. It is the.
Oh, you're gonna do Ottawa area now? Okay, but Ottawa is getting super expensive. Vanier, even though a lot of people clown on Vanier, is getting expensive. I mean, Hawkesbury's expensive. Manotick, super expensive. Freaking Canada. I don't know where. Hopefully, you can get a good place, Ziggy, or something, because Ottawa is getting expensive. Montreal is getting expensive.
Is legal.
Barhaven expensive.
But come on, man.
You
might as well. when people say, "Oh, I hope the 70-year-old starts getting with the 18-year-old," you're basically saying, "Hey, if a little girl was young, it's like."
Gotcha. Okay, that
When
makes
my
sense.
dad says that shit, he's basically saying that he should be getting with somebody younger than 18.
All right, we've heard this ad nauseum. I'm gonna go forward more and see
But he can't because there's a law against it.
what else he says
Shit
here.
too. Let me tell you something. Anytime I do shit, okay, my mother likes to fake all throughout my life. My mother likes to fake illnesses to get people to fucking feel sorry for her.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He says that Mama Scrunch is now Munchausen. Munchausen Mama Scrunch.
That's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I left their house. That's one of the reasons I moved out of their home. Okay? Because she ended up faking a fucking heart attack. In order to get people to fucking feel sorry for her. And I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. My mother, when I went to New York City,
Fisher Ziggy.
she faked having a heart attack.
What?
And said it was because you went to New York City. I got so worried I had a heart attack.
So does that mean she's faking the heart attacks now?
She claims that Aunt Marianne died because I went to New York City.
New York.
When I went to Cleveland, every time I try to do something for myself,
She
to
worries.
either, better my life or, just get away from her, she comes back and starts faking illnesses.
Well, I mean, as a parent, it's understandable that she'd get worried because she has a clearly autistic son stepping out of a familiar area and getting into an unfamiliar area where a lot of people with autism would freak out. And she's going to get worried that something might happen to you because you do have a sensory and social problem and you're in an unfamiliar neighborhood. Anybody, even myself, I mean, anybody would have some inhibitions because, they're in a new area. They don't know truly what's going on and anything can happen. So, of course, she's going to be worried about you. If you go to New York City, you go to Cleveland, or you go to Boston, she's going to be worried.
She, when I went to Cleveland, she claimed that she passed out in the Tops parking lot because her sugar went too low. And she passed out and died for a couple minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's not true. What does a couple minutes mean? What's the longest has somebody been like clinically dead and they've been brought back without any serious injury to like their brain? What's the tops? Isn't it like, I don't know, like less than 2 minutes, right? Else you start having brain damage after a while. I gotta look this up, but the sooner the better.
That's why I left. That's why I left their house. By the way, it was because
Ziggy.
There was a whole incident where she decided that she was gonna fake being pregnant even though she already got her fucking tubes tied.
So what? Isn't Mama Scrunch like 60? What is she faking being pregnant? Like, Jesus.
She was gonna fake being pregnant and then claim she lost the baby. And then she went to the doctor and they told her that there was something wrong with her or some bullshit. So now we all have to be sorry for her. When in reality, all she's doing is she's faking illnesses to gain sympathy. I went to New York City. She had a heart attack. She went to I went to Cleveland. She ended up going into a fucking coma or whatever the fuck she said. And then that whole thing where she said, "Oh, your father's in Roswell, and he's on his deathbed at Roswell." He was never at Roswell.
Oh, where was he?
Because I looked into it. Because I remember when Eugene was real sick. Okay, I visited him at the hospital. All I had to do was go up to the fucking desk there and say, "Hey, I'm here to see a patient, Eugene McAllister." And they gave me his fucking room number and the floor and everything. I went and visited him. So I did the same thing with my dad. I went up to the desk. I'm here to see a patient, Ralph Constantino. We don't have a patient by that name. Oh, all right. I left. She was lying to me.
Not necessarily. It depends on what she said, because I looked it up. So there's Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. So was she saying there was a type of cancer scare? Did he have an operation to remove cancer? Was it successful? Did he have to undergo chemo treatment? There's lots of factors with this. But as far as I see, when he's saying Roswell, it seems like he's saying Roswell Park, which is a cancer center in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, supposedly be free.
He looked all right when he was on camera for court. He looked all right. He looked all right when he was at Burton Cummings. She fakes illnesses. And she tries to pass it off on me as well. Trying to say, "Oh, he's got schizophrenia. He's got Prader-Willi. You got that. You got that. Give him medication. Give him this. Give him that." When in reality, all we know is that what we all know is that she made stuff up for people to feel sorry for her. Sometimes I wonder if I actually do have autism or not.
You clearly do. Clearly, you have something going on.
But I've actually had a doctor.
You know what this reminds me of? Like the poop squatch, or people who deny their diagnosis and wants to see other specialists, and then the specialists confirm that they do have what the other doctor says that they have, and they still want to deny it.
Without her intervening, I've had a doctor say I have autism. So I'm correct on that one. So So that's what I'm thinking about doing. She wants to have Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen syndrome by proxy and shit like that. Let's fucking go.
Yikes. Yeah, exactly. Z clearly documented.
Where can I go? Where can I go that will just...
Want to know why Japanese never get diabetes? While the diabetes industry is trying to ban apple cider vinegar, they use it to
kill my...
I mean, apple cider vinegar is actually pretty good. I use apple cider vinegar for a whole host of stuff. And yeah, I think certain populations out east have better quality of life and less health problems on average because, you know, a lot of the stuff that happens to us is because of our diet. We are indeed who what we eat. So we're eating a lot of like corn-based, fructose, sugary, and salty stuff with like all sorts of like dyes and stuff, and it truly is killing us off.
Mother instantly. Remember that shit? My mom said that about my dad being in Roswell after I said I was going to go to the psych ward. And then she threatened to blow my apartment up. She's like, you're starting shit. Your father's really sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he now? Oh, is he?
Does he resent his family?
Oh, so
I don't know what truly goes on in his brain, but it seems he has a hate on for his mom, even though I do feel his mom and family members have tried their best to help him out in many ways. And you still do see that his mom will help him because he was behind on his rent, about to be evicted, and she came up with the thousands of dollars that he needed. So does his mom truly care? Yeah. Do I think his dad cares? Of course. I think his dad cares. His uncle cares as well. They're just frustrated at his constant behavior and labeling his family members as PDF files when he is the one who hangs around true PDF files that have been convicted at least once in the court of law. Others are up, for trial. A lot of like BS stuff, but he calls his family members PDFs because that totally makes all the sense.
All of a sudden he's sick right after I said I was going to go to the psych ward because I'm having thoughts about what my uncle was doing to me.
Oh boy.
All of a sudden my mom. All of a sudden, my mother,
thanks, fish.
passes out from low blood sugar when I was in Cleveland. All of a sudden, my mom has a fucking heart attack. When I went to New York City. All of a sudden, my mother fakes a fucking miscarriage or whatever the fuck.
Oh my god, who the hell's gonna believe that Mama Scrunch was pregnant? What the hell?
That never fucking happened. I forget.
I love that he has the Nintendo cartridge shirt. I forgot if it's like regular Nintendo or Super NES with the blow me. You remember how you used to blow those cartridges? Kind of gives your age away, but yeah, the Super NES, NES, you had to blow the cartridges to make sure that you wouldn't get dust into your system because then that would be a huge pile of problems.
Get what that shit was.
I'm gonna go for it a little bit.
She faked a fucking miscarriage.
I'm gonna go forward. I'm gonna wrap this up soon. What is he's been up to? He's gonna take a trip to Boston, Massachusetts. He's on the verge of getting his computer back. He had 2 job interviews set up, and he told one of the job interviews, well, probably both of them, that he needs to take time off to go to the clam bake for a cop, I guess, a police union fundraiser. And the workplace is trying to figure out if they can give him time off, because he truly just totally needs to go to this clam bake that he's gone to previously. So we'll see how that happens. But typically with work, most people should know and do know that you're not supposed to say that you need time off for this or that, unless you truly need to, because then you won't be the successful candidate for the position that you're going after. But he's doing it. He doesn't care. He's being propped up by the government. He gets his social security. Yeah. Remember he went to that police clam bake like 2 years ago? It's this thing where if he shows up and he's around cops and he doesn't get arrested, that means everything is tip top. Everything is okay. They're not looking for him. He thinks that the cops that were in and around his apartment building were there for him, but he swears he hasn't done anything lately to one of the ladies in Lockport, as well as not much to his mom and dad and uncle. Only made a police report on his mom recently, but that shouldn't be an arrestable offense. He's paranoid.
They might have something old where it tells you where it was. New world record at 765 Elmwood. Where was that?
He needs his meds. Just remember, he doesn't like taking meds.
Oh, I know. I know where that was now. Oh, yeah. It was... It was right where the Panera Bread is now.
Yeah, it is.
So that's what happened. Yeah, I went to do world record. I went to fucking Home of the Hits. I went everywhere. And I felt like I was getting away with like fucking mass murder or some shit.
Yeah, I actually don't truly know Ziggy. You would think, yeah, somebody is his POA. I think what was happening is that he had Adult Protective Services has I guess the entity that was in charge of him, but then he got rid of Adult Protective Services and he wants to be in charge of his own person. But don't you still need somebody like especially if you have autism and you're getting social security because of your illnesses and whatnot? Panera is way too expensive for me. Like when I looked up the address that he shouted out, it seems it's a place called Aguacats Mexican Bar and Grill, right next to the Panera Bread. I wonder what he got there. Yeah, it seems like, but I'm not really sure. I'd have to like maybe ask him or look it up, but probably just email him and he'll probably tell me.
And I don't think my parents ever found out. I basically made myself independent without their approval, and it felt great.
Yeah,
and because I never told them that's what I was doing. And I actually did that a couple more times. I had an MP3 player.
Yes, the place is called Aguacat. I guess my Spanish isn't that good. It means avocados, right? Like that's avocado. So It's a Mexican bar and grill that he went to at 765 Elmwood. I have no idea what he ate there, but that's the name of the place.
Okay. I had an MP3 player. It was called the Rio Riot. Okay. Go look up what a Rio Riot is. Oh my God.
I'm definitely gonna look that up. Rio Riot. Boy, old school MP3 player. OMG, that is so old school. It didn't even have a color screen.
This fucking thing. That was like my first
Aguacate.
MP3 player,
All right, thank you.
actually. The Rio Riot. Willie, move. Willie, move. The Rio Riot was like my first MP3 player. And I would take the MP3, the Rio Riot.
Nira claims to be using all fresh ingredients. Yeah, there's always like twists and turns when they have claims like that, and then you find out that's actually not the case. I'm pretty sure they use frozen stuff. Like, it's a supply chain thing. It's very hard to have multiple locations where you got to supply to and still get fresh stuff. That's why when you go to mom and pop's places, like the big place I went to in Montreal on Friday, they only have one location, right? Because everything there is just fresh. If you have like 2 locations, maybe 3, you could still do fresh stuff. But when you have like chains across like states and, you know, all over America, it gets super hard to still get fresh stuff.
And I would
quality, because it eats into your profit.
And I would listen to fucking music on the bus.
Oh, that looks so dirty.
And then I took the Rio Riot. Go look up what a Rio Riot was. It was an MP3. It was a huge fucking thing. This thing was probably the size of a fucking Nintendo Switch. Okay? It was probably the size of like a tablet. It was like this fucking big. But it was, if you look at like a Nintendo Switch, it was like that, but like without the Joy-Cons on there. It was like this thing. It looked like it was like a thing, like it looked kind of like an hourglass shape, and it would have a fucking wheel on it. You had to scroll through. I don't think it was touch or anything, but. Yeah, this fucking thing was a fucking beast, and I had one. And I remember after work, I went to fucking Home of the Hits, and I went to Home of the Hits, and then from there, I walked up and down Elmwood, and just experience the fucking Elmwood Strip like that. And I'd be listening to fucking my Rio Riot.
And yeah, Home of the Hits got closed in like March 2007. And the Rio Riot came out in 2002. That's how old it is. But yeah, Home of the Hits was on Elmwood and it closed freaking, 18 years ago. That's a long time. Sup, Ian? All right, after you get off the dump, I'm thinking I'm gonna wrap this up.
And man, oh my God, that was such an incredible time in my life. Like I said, it felt like I was getting away with murder, doing that. And nowadays, it's just like going down the fucking street. It's like. Watch Willie take a shit.
No, we don't want to watch your cat take a shit in a filthy ass bathroom with that stale ass water still in the tub. And cat shit piling out of his oh my God, that is so gross. This needs a complete cleaning. OMG.
Why? Another shit.
Look at the corners. Like, what the hell is that a toothbrush in the corner right there? And then you got like stuff to take the wax out of your ears. Cotton, like, cotton swab
like,
on the ground, and he's not picking it
Rio
up.
Riot. That was like one of the best things of that was a fucking highlight of my fucking life. For real. Fucking doing that for myself. And then, going to Toronto by myself, going to New York City by myself. Okay, I felt like I keep feeling I'm kind of getting away with murder every time. That's why I go to these different cities. I go travel. Because here's the thing, my mother won't take me anywhere.
What kind of cat litter do I use? I use a lightweight stuff because you can get some like super premium cat litter, but honestly, as long as it doesn't get dusty in there and you clean properly and you clean up your litters, because I have 3 litters, so I have 3 cats, 3 litters. The cats use each litter interchangeably. So I make sure I maintain them every day, and every couple of days I clean it all out. So got to keep up on top of stuff. Got to have clean water at all times, multiple bowls of clean water for my cats. They get the water from my filter because I'm in a significantly hard water area. So I don't want none of that chlorine and other like heavy metal stuff being drunk by my cats. So you stole the toilet paper. That's commercial.
Wouldn't take me anywhere on vacation.
But maybe, probably.
We went someplace. What was it? She is right on Monty, though. We did go to what was it? Virginia.
Okay, they went to Virginia.
I had no idea this would work
cool.
so well. I really
That's
didn't
where
expect
Nal
it.
lives.
I think it was Willie. No. You bury the fucking turds. Don't be burying my fucking towel in your fucking shit.
Yeah, remember when COVID happened and people were like, the hand sanitizer and the toilet paper was all out and you had to like do your best to get toilet paper? I'm like, it was so weird, man. Completely weird. The Lysol, the hand sanitizer, and the toilet paper. People were stacking up with them.
Okay, so we went to it was called Busch Gardens. I think it was in Virginia. And this was like when I was like 2. Okay? This was like when I was 2. And then when I was about like 4, we went to Cedar Point in it was somewhere in Ohio. I think it was kind of near Cleveland, to be honest. Willie. I think Cedar Point was like near Cleveland or some shit like that. I don't really remember.
Yeah, people were ripping off toilet paper. They were doing all sorts of funky stuff.
So when I say that that was my first time in Cleveland, I probably lied. It was probably my second time in Cleveland, to be honest, because of Cedar Point. We probably went through Cleveland with Willie. Willie, get down from there before you fall in. Before you fall in the fucking tub and drown. I gotta still fucking do the bucket brigade and get that water out. But
can you imagine wrecking like a proper place like this, like having all sorts of filth all over the place?
yeah, fucking
So gross.
we probably passed through Cleveland to get to Cedar Point. I don't really remember though. All I remember going to Cedar Point is that we stopped. I think my parents got like a motel or something that was near there, and we had there was like it was like on the road up there, and we got.
You think Dylan should get a bidet? He's probably an irresponsible wiper. Yeah, probably could smell that stank gas. Maybe that's why Willie keeps smelling his ass in the bed, because it probably stinks. And Willie's like, "What the fuck is that? I gotta smell it."
Pizza Hut at this motel. That was the only thing I fucking remember about Cedar Point, and I remember being at Cedar Point, but yeah, but other than that, like my mom will, once in a while my mom will take me to like Toronto for a day or something like that, but it was always something like that. It was always like something you could get to in like an hour or two, except for, the Busch Gardens thing. Like, I don't really remember that, but I do remember seeing pictures of it. And, I mean, that was like the only time. That and Cedar Point, and then just little day trips here and there.
Please don't remind me, Ziggy. Probably
Meanwhile,
does.
my parents would, every fucking summer, they would go to fucking Las Vegas. And it never again with the trips, back in like 2016, I had went to Toronto, and I told my mother, I basically threatened my mother. I basically not threatened her, but I made her scared. And I said, listen, I'm going to fucking Toronto, okay? Here's the deal. You can either take me or I take the fucking bus to Toronto, okay? And she was like, okay, we'll take you. I'll take you. So I had to fucking threaten my mother in order to take me there.
Yeah, he was, Ziggy. Stories from Mama's Crunch. And all that jazz. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a part 2 another time. But yeah, he was a difficult childhood. Like, those were the Dr. Nintendo days, and going to child shrinks about his issues and whatnot. Lots of stories behind that. We'll probably catch up sometime, somewhere, somehow. I did email Mama Scrunch a while back. She hasn't responded to me, but we shall see what happens. Other than that, people, he can't come to Canada now. Yeah, he can't now, but in a couple of years. Mama Scrunch worked hard. Yeah, it seems she does, but she needs to end that casino life stuff that she does, because she pays a pretty penny every single time she goes to the casino and loses. Anyways, people, thanks for hanging out with me and everything. I'll see you guys another time. Take care of yourselves and have a great rest of your weekend. See you later. Have a good one.